In a way, picked on, he made a mistake. But if you actually listen to what this chief of the charity is saying, she's just trying to run it as it should be run, and he's running.
Just another glossy charity gig for Meghan Markle. The usual smiles, buzzwords like impact and change turned into a total disaster. Cameras were rolling, her PR team was already cooking up the next headline, thinking it was another slam dunk photo op for her brand. But nope, not this time. Behind the scenes, a whole different story was brewing. Prince Harry was left mortified, staffers were thrown into chaos, and one major charity distanced themselves faster than Meghan could flash that famous smile. This wasn't just a small oopsie, this was full-on scandal territory, and insiders say this moment crushed any illusion of Meghan's so-called philanthropic empire.
Care so much about humanitarian work and then admit that they only...
Here's how the drama exploded. Meghan showed up at a well-known youth charity in LA. She was supposed to give a little speech, shake a few hands, maybe take cute pics with some kids, play the role of the people's princess. But instead of coming with donations or something meaningful, her team arrived like they were shooting a fashion spread, lighting rigs, glam squad, even a branded water bottle. Oh, and they had instructions about how the kids should pose in the photos. Seriously? A stunned staffer whispered. It felt more like a Vogue cover shoot than a charity visit. And Meghan? Multiple volunteers said she barely talked to the kids unless a camera was pointed at her. When she did speak, it was all pre-written, like literally read off cue cards her assistant held behind the camera. One parent said the whole thing felt like an episode of the Meghan Markle show. But hang on, it gets worse.
Saying that Dr. Sophie is actually just jealous of Meghan Markle, where all of this stems from. Prince Harry, you have...
Leaked emails began making the rounds. Guess what they revealed? Meghan's PR firm had sent out a list of demands before the event. We're talking pre-approved questions, no media access to anyone outside her team, and NDAs for every single staffer at the event. Yes, non-disclosure agreements at a charity event, because nothing says compassion like threatening legal action. An internal memo from the charity shows board members were furious. One even said the visit felt like a branding exercise disguised as philanthropy. Another called it flat-out exploitative. And the final nail, Meghan's supposed donation, the one hyped as super generous, turned out to be, wait for it, a branding collab. That's right, the charity wasn't actually getting any money, just some Instagram posts and the honor of being linked to Meghan Markle. The charity pulled the plug, fast. Within 48 hours, they wiped her pics off their socials and made a shady but clear statement about reassessing our celebrity partnerships. Meghan's team rushed to push a shiny press release, but let's be real, the damage was done. And then, boom, the leak started.
Well, let me put it to you this way. I'm going to give you a really good example. The only reason I'm here, Trevor, is because at some point on Tuesday,
An anonymous staffer, clearly fed up with the fake vibes, sent a blow-by-blow account of the event to UK tabloids and gossip sites. The email was savage. Quote, Meghan came here to get content, not to help. Ouch. She brought camera crews, gave fake smiles, and didn't even bother to learn the kids' names. The headlines? Brutal. Duchess of Deception. Meghan's charity catastrophe. And Prince Harry? Completely blindsided. Sources close to the couple said Harry had no clue this was the plan. He truly thought they were doing something real for underprivileged kids. One former aide said this was personal for him. He wanted to build something genuine outside of the royal family. Instead, he's watching everything fall apart. Insiders said Harry confronted Meghan asking why he was kept in the dark. Her alleged response? That it was all just media jealousy. But Harry couldn't ignore the optics anymore, especially when royal biographer Tom Bower stepped in.
Harry is behind all of this and why I know the royal family cannot trust him. Then
Tom Bower didn't hold back. He called the entire thing calculated deception, saying Meghan used a good cause to push her own brand without doing anything for the actual cause. It's narcissism dressed in charity, he said, and he's not alone. Former palace staffers, media critics, and charity insiders are all raising eyebrows. The pattern? Grand gestures, glamorous photos, but barely any real impact. Remember that campaign about sending food to girls in India? Turns out Meghan didn't pay a cent. The donations came from a third party. Or the bananas she wrote, "You are brave" on for sex workers. Advocates called it tone deaf. Now, this charity scandal just ripped the curtain all the way down.
Opinion, whether that is now potentially having a war with his own charity.
And guess what happened next? Meghan fired her PR firm. Yes, the very people who helped shape her entire rebranding campaign were kicked to the curb. Why? Because they couldn't stop the truth from leaking. Sources say the firm begged her not to film the charity visit. They warned her it would look fake and self-serving. But Meghan, she reportedly insisted it had to be filmed for her upcoming lifestyle rollout. That rollout is now completely on pause. Luxury brands that were lining up to work with her, gone. 2 big-name sponsors dropped out. A major podcast deal? Radio silence. That's how fast it all collapsed. All those filtered posts, hashtag-heavy captions, and soft-focus shots, worthless now. And Harry, stuck in the middle, again. To make matters even worse, palace insiders say the royal family is absolutely mortified. One senior aide said, "This is exactly why the late queen was cautious about Meghan taking on major patronages. She feared the headlines wouldn't match the substance." And well, she was right. Even the media outlets that once praised Meghan are backing away. They used to call her the face of modern royalty, brave, empathetic, trailblazing. Now, they're peeling back the layers and finding nothing but spin. The charity drama wasn't just a bad look, it shattered her entire narrative. A Hollywood executive even admitted anonymously, "We backed a fairy tale, not a fraud." That one line, it's making the rounds everywhere. Whispers in studios, influencer meetups, and PR agencies are getting louder. Meghan's name, it's no longer gold. One producer reportedly warned, "Careful, she comes with baggage." Even charities are backing out. One UK organization dropped her as a keynote speaker, quietly but firmly. "It doesn't feel authentic anymore," one rep said off record. And they're not alone. Online, it's brutal. Reddit, TikTok, even old fan pages are turning. The hashtag #Meghan exposed trended for 48 hours. Fans are dissecting her every move, comparing past promises with her current behavior. The irony, Meghan built her brand on being the victim of palace control and press bullying. But now people are wondering, did she just master the game she claimed to hate? Harry? He's starting to look like a trapped co-star in a show he never signed up for. And across the pond, the royals are watching. Not with joy, but with a grim, silent told you so. They're frustrated the drama keeps circling back to them, but some sources say there's relief too. "At least now the world is seeing what we were cautious about from the beginning," one insider reportedly said. And Harry? He's not okay. People close to him say he's pulled back. Visibly quieter, emotionally checked out, more anxious when he's on camera. The man who once shouted about mental health is now being eaten alive by the pressure of holding together something that may never have been real to begin with. He thought he was protecting someone from the media machine. Instead, it turns out he may have helped build another one. And now the fire's lit. It's spreading. The charity scandal was the match, Meghan's tone-deaf silence was the fuel, and now we've got a full-on inferno. Let's rewind to where things really blew up. That awkward charity visit? It took a hard left when a young volunteer tried to hug Meghan. Sweet, right? Wrong. Meghan recoiled like she'd been handed a live snake. Her face went cold. Her voice, even colder. "No thank you." And just like that, she turned and walked straight toward the cameras. It was all caught, every stiff second. And the internet had a field day. Breitbart and the Daily Mail lit up. TikTok exploded. One video even played it back with elevator music, zooming in on her frozen expression like she was physically allergic to human contact. People were shocked. Comments poured in. Does Meghan think kindness is a contract? She only hugs when there's a lens involved. The moment was meant to spark feel-good headlines. Instead, it became a viral meme about emotional distance. Then it got worse. An archived webpage accidentally revealed an email, sent before the visit, from Meghan's own PR team. It stated word for word that Meghan's assistant would greet VIPs, not Meghan. She'd arrive at 9:30 and leave at 10 sharp. Volunteers should not expect interaction beyond media presence. Yep, it was all staged. That sweet volunteer's hug, never part of the plan, just another prop in Meghan's benevolence production. And when Harry found out, witnesses said he looked shattered. He apologized to a babysitter, to a staffer, even to a friend, telling them, "This isn't what we signed up for." He looked ashamed. Word spread quickly. More whispers, more canceled bookings. Charities began issuing quiet statements about meaningful engagement. Translation, "We don't do robots here." And Meghan, not a peep, no apology, no explanation, nothing but more curated posts about wine brands and jam jars. Business as usual, but everyone saw the silence for what it really was, a PR freeze-out. Columnists pointed out the obvious. When your brand is authentic empathy, but your actions scream cold detachment, the public will notice, especially in the age of social media. Sunday headlines spelled it out. Harry in damage control, Meghan silent. He showed up at events, shaking hands, hugging survivors, even tearing up during a trauma survivor's speech. Meghan, still quiet, still promoting luxury tea. And then came the Zoom call leak. Someone dropped a clip of Harry telling his team, "We said authentic, not orchestrated." She's lost the thread. The room fell silent. No spin, just raw disappointment. Insiders say Meghan's own team is split. Half are begging her to do a sit-down, unscripted apology video. The other half, doubling down. No apologies, no vulnerability. Stay on brand. But that silence, it's costing her everything. Even charity partners are panicking. One told reporters, "We love the idea of working with them, but we need sincerity. We can't afford half-hearted engagement." Sponsors are pulling back, events are being reviewed. PR analysts say the next 48 hours are critical. If Meghan doesn't respond, this won't just be a scandal. It'll be the story that defines her public legacy. And poor Harry, he's caught in it, trapped between loyalty to his wife and loyalty to truth. People see it in his face, the weight of it all. He wanted to change the world. Meghan wanted to direct the movie about it. Netflix is sweating. Spotify already walked. And now charities are reevaluating if they even want their names associated with her anymore. And here's the sad part. Meghan wasn't always like this. She was that girl who wrote letters to advertisers about sexism when she was 11, the one who believed in making change. But somewhere between the palace gates and a Montecito mansion, she forgot the difference between influence and performance. And today's audiences, they can smell a performance a mile away. Harry still shows glimmers of the man who walked behind his mother's coffin with dignity. But now, he looks like someone stuck in a film he doesn't want to be in anymore. A film called The Meghan Markle Show. That one moment, a clipped "no thank you," set off the entire domino chain. And now, the world sees it for what it is. A brand built on carefully filtered images, not emotional truth. And in the court of public opinion, once people believe your compassion is scripted, no amount of pastel Instagram posts can make them forget. The world wanted a hero. What it got was a headline. And maybe, just maybe, that's what Harry's finally realizing. Too late. Realizing.